We all have that feeling, don't we? Wanting to be ready, primed for whatever's next, a big race, maybe just a tough workout.
Hmm.
And we're always looking for smarter ways to get our bodies prepared and recovered.
Definitely. Efficiency is key.
Yeah.
We want the edge, but we don't always have hours to dedicate just to prep and recovery.
Exactly. Which brings us to today's deep dive. The new Nike Hyperboot. It's a pretty interesting collaboration with Hyperice.
Yeah, Hyperice, the recovery tech specialists.
Yeah.
This boot is basically designed to speed up your warm-up and help you recover faster. Wearable footwear doing double duty.
It's a fascinating concept. Footwear that helps before and after the main event. So for this dive, we've looked at a couple of things. We've got the transcript from a Nike YouTube video. It gives you the inside scoop from the creators, the athletes testing it.
Yeah.
And we also dug into an article from Parola Analytics.
Right. They look at the patents, the kind of underlying tech blueprint.
So our mission today, very simple. We want to unpack the innovation here, understand what the Hyperboot does and what it might mean for athletes, at any level. Consider this your shortcut to getting up to speed.
Okay, so where to start? I think the philosophy behind it is important. Both Nike and Hyperice, they really center everything around the athlete.
Athlete success is the goal.
Absolutely. And they kept mentioning this idea, your best ability is availability, which is so true, right? Being consistently ready to perform.
It really highlights why recovery is just as important as the training itself. And you can see why the partnership happened.
Totally. Nike brings decades of footwear know-how, understanding movement, performance. Hyperice brings the expertise in recovery technologies, compression, heat therapy.
Things Nike maybe doesn't specialize in internally.
Exactly. The Nike video even says, a project like this really needed both companies' unique skills. You couldn't just do it alone.
Makes sense. So the big challenge then is how do you actually combine performance needs with recovery tech in a single boot?
Well, that's where the specific technologies come in. A big one is the dynamic air compression. It's based on Normatec tech.
Ah, Normatec. Lots of athletes swear by those compression systems.
Yeah, uses that sequential pulsing compression. Helps with blood flow, clearing out waste products, that sort of thing. It's foundational for warm-up and recovery.
And they've managed to build that into the boot itself. But it's not just compression, is it?
No, they also integrated hyperheat technology. That comes from Hyperice's Venom line. So you get targeted heat combined with the compression.
Heat and squeeze together, does that make a big difference?
Apparently, yes. They call it a force multiplier effect. The compression basically pushes the heating elements closer to the body.
Okay, so better contact.
Right, which means the heat penetrates deeper, more efficiently. They showed thermal imaging in the video, and you could see the tissue warming up really quickly and thoroughly.
Wow. And what did the athletes say? Did they feel it?
Yeah, the feedback seemed pretty immediate. They kept hearing things like, legs feel lighter right after using them.
Lighter.
Interesting.
And also that their feet and ankles are loose and they're light, like they'd already done part of their warm-up,
That immediate feeling must be pretty compelling.
And that feedback loop was apparently crucial for Nike. They stressed getting athletes involved super early on.
Validation from the people actually using it.
Exactly. And the athletes really highlighted the need for that heat and compression specifically around the Achilles and the ankle.
Makes sense. High-stress areas, especially for certain sports.
Definitely. Think football players, sprinters. They mentioned Sha'Carri Richardson, the sprinter.
Oh, yeah. What did she say?
She liked the mobility aspect, being able to warm up or recover while still moving around, especially like when traveling. Big plus for sprinters.
I could see that. And you mentioned football players.
Jaden Daniels. He talked about how it took his warm-up to new heights and really emphasized that availability point again, how it helps him stay ready to play.
Okay, so let's get into the nuts and bolts. How does it actually work? The compression part. It uses a dual air bladder system. Imagine like two separate zones that can inflate and deflate in sequence.
Like the Normatec boots, but integrated?
Pretty much. Delivering those patterns that mimic massage, boost circulation. And these bladders work alongside thermally efficient heating elements woven into the upper.
So the heat is spread out evenly.
That's the idea. Consistent warmth throughout the boot. But it's not just about sitting still.
Right, the mobility part Sha'Carri Richardson mentioned.
Yeah, they actually designed the midsole and outsole specifically for walking. Increased toe spring and heel spring.
What does that do?
It's meant to make it feel lighter, easier to walk around while the system is running. A big convenience factor compared to being tethered to a wall unit.
For sure. Being able to walk around while warming up or cooling down, that's pretty useful.
Absolutely. And you get some control too. 3 different levels for both heat and compression.
So you can dial it in.
Yeah, customize it a bit. Plus, there's smartphone app connectivity.
Ah, of course. An app for everything.
Well, it allows for more fine-tuning, probably preset programs for different needs, like a pre-run warm-up or post-game recovery.
Yeah.
Gives the user more control.
Okay, that covers the user experience and the tech. What about the patents? The Pearl Analytics article dove into that.
It did. It highlighted Nike's huge patent portfolio, especially in footwear. They're constantly innovating there. It's Class A43B for anyone interested in the patent classifications.
Always innovating. Did they pinpoint the specific patent for the Hyperboot?
They pointed to U.S. Patent Application 2020-50031-803. It basically outlines this whole multifunctional footwear idea.
The blueprint.
Exactly. It talks about the fluid-filled bladders, which would be air in this case, and the heating and even cooling mechanisms. It lays out the core concepts.
Interesting. Do we know who invented it?
The application lists Toby Hatfield and Andrew Owings as inventors, and the attorney listed is William F. Ratcholz from Banner and Witkoff.
Good to know the names behind it. It really connects the tech description we heard from Nike back to the documented innovation.
Yeah, it shows the deliberate design process. And this isn't the only place Nike and Hyperice are working together on this wearable recovery ideal.
Oh.
What else did they mention? The Nike X Hyperice Vest offers targeted heat or, interestingly, ventilation. So applying similar principles to the torso.
Heat or cooling in a vest. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense too.
And looking even further ahead, Pearl Analytics brought up AI, the potential for future devices to use AI.
How so?
Imagine your recovery gear, analyzing your workout data and suggesting personalized settings. Like, okay, you ran 10 miles, you need level 2 compression and level 1 heat for 20 minutes.
Wow, truly personalized recovery.
Hyperice apparently already has a patent exploring that kind of AI integration, so it's definitely on their roadmap.
It really points to this bigger trend, doesn't it? Tech getting woven right into our athletic gear.
Absolutely. Enhancing performance, speeding up recovery, making it all more seamless and effective. And the Hyperboot is a big step. It's launching soon, right?
Yeah, May 17th in North America on Nike.com, Hyperice.com, and some retail stores, then a global rollout after that.
It'll be interesting to see the uptake. Anthony Katz, Hyperice's founder, sounded really enthusiastic.
What did he say?
He mentioned how Nike has always been an inspiration and that this collaboration, this boot, is really just the start. Suggests more is coming.
Just the start. Okay, that's exciting. So let's try and sum this up.
Okay. The Hyperboot is basically an innovative mashup of Nike footwear design and Hyperice recovery tech.
Combining that dynamic air compression and targeted heat in a boot you can actually walk around in.
Driven by athlete feedback, especially around the ankles and Achilles, and backed up by specific patented technology.
With the potential to kind of change how athletes warm up and recover.
Definitely simplifies things, makes recovery more accessible.